There's a story buried beneath the iron bones of America's rise, hidden in the furnace fires of Pittsburgh, beneath the shriek of railways and the clang of hammers shaping steel. It's not about profit margins or towering skyscrapers. It's about a man who looked across the smoking horizon of industry and whispered something so strange, so utterly against the grain, that even his fiercest rivals had to stop and listen. Andrew Carnegie, the Steel King, the immigrant boy who became the richest man on earth. But for all the forges he built, for all the miles of track he laid, all the industries he sparked, and all the men he outworked, outsmarted, and outlasted, he swore there was something infinitely more valuable than steel, more valuable than the money, more valuable than the empire. It wasn't what he bought. It was what he built within himself. One skill, one intangible force that, in his own words, was worth more than all the millions that poured from his furnaces. A skill he called the single greatest reason for his rise. And yet, it's not taught in business schools. It's not measured in IQ, and you won't find it listed on resumes. But without it, Carnegie believed no man could ever lead, no fortune could ever endure, and no soul could ever truly influence the world. But we'll get to that. First, you need to understand why. Why would a man with the wealth of a small nation, a man who could snap his fingers and summon presidents, kings, and tycoons, claim that the most valuable thing in his life wasn't found in steel, or strategy, or even discipline? Because he saw something the rest of the world didn't. While others saw competitors, he saw character. While others tried to dominate, he learned to understand. And while others shouted orders from thrones of arrogance, he mastered the quiet power of a different kind of command, the command of the heart, of the mind, of the human. Steel built his fortune, but it was this skill that built his destiny. He once said, "The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled." But the truth behind that sentence lies in how you take possession, not just of your mind, but of other people's trust, attention, and loyalty, not by force, but through mastery of connection. Let's rewind. Imagine you're a young boy living in a one-room stone cottage in Dunfermline, Scotland. You go to sleep hungry. You wake up to the sound of the loom your father weaving linen for pennies, struggling to keep the family alive as the machines of the Industrial Revolution make his hands obsolete. The air smells like desperation, opportunity. That lives across the ocean. And then your family packs everything and sails to America. You arrive with nothing but a name and a fire in your soul. You sell newspapers. You run telegraphs. You work harder than anyone else, yes, but so do a million other immigrants. The difference? You watch. You listen. You learn the people around you like a conductor learns each instrument in the orchestra. You don't just move faster. You move smarter, and you do it by understanding what moves people. Carnegie didn't rise by lifting steel. He rose by lifting men. He realized something early. The world doesn't bend to power. It bends to influence. True, lasting influence. And the most powerful men in history, those who shaped empires not with brute strength, but with words, with presence, with the rarest kind of awareness, those were the men Carnegie studied. He read Napoleon's campaigns not for war strategy, but for insight into how Napoleon inspired loyalty. He read Shakespeare not just for art, but for truth, how language could open hearts like locks. He watched how a look, a word, a pause at the right moment could command more than any title. And so, while others worshipped the market, he mastered the human market, where attention is the currency and trust is the gold standard. He believed leadership was not about pushing men to act, it was about making them want to act. That's not manipulation. That's artistry. And artistry begins with empathy. Not softness, not weakness, but strategic empathy. The ability to step inside someone's world, see with their eyes, feel with their fears, and then guide them out. Like a lighthouse in the storm, he learned that people don't follow orders. They follow belief, they follow someone who sees them. So Carnegie didn't just hire men. He built them, promoted them, mentored them. He made them believe in themselves so deeply that they would walk through fire to build his vision. And here's the paradox. This man who assembled Titanic Industries, who controlled more steel than the British Empire, said the greatest victories of his life came not from deals or domination, but from his ability to deal with people. One man, one skill. Still, we haven't named it, because the power of this skill isn't in its name. It's in the way it silently rewires everything around you. Your career, your relationships, your legacy. But let's dig deeper. Because Carnegie saw something dangerous in the world we're walking into today. He saw a world obsessed with technical knowledge but blind to emotional intelligence. He saw empires fall not from lack of brilliance, but from lack of understanding. He watched men chase fortune and fame, only to die alone, misunderstood, unloved, with empires built on sand. He saw leaders who could engineer machines, but couldn't engineer loyalty. Men who knew how to mine coal, but couldn't mine truth from a conversation. Executives who could manage numbers, but not souls. And so he began to preach. Not loudly, not publicly at first, but through those he mentored. Because Carnegie wasn't just building a business. He was building a philosophy. A way of moving through the world where the sharpest edge wasn't found in steel, but in connection. And the deeper he got, the more he realized influence is not domination. Leadership is not shouting. Persuasion is not trickery. No. The true leader, the rarest kind, is the one who can walk into any room, any situation, any crisis, and make people feel seen. He can speak to the unspoken fears. He can reach the unseen dreams. And in doing so, he becomes indispensable. This, he said, was the greatest force in human history. Not the sword, not the coin, not even the pen, but the ability to win hearts, because hearts move hands, and hands build civilizations. Still think this is just soft talk? Then consider this. Carnegie's most prized protege, the man who had become the living embodiment of his philosophy, wasn't a steel magnate. It was a farm boy from Missouri, named Dale Carnegie. Yes, that Carnegie. The man who would go on to write How to Win Friends and Influence People, a book that reshaped the world of leadership, sales, communication, and influence forever. And every page of that book echoes the one lesson Andrew Carnegie drilled into him, that no matter how powerful you become, your ability to work with people will be the only thing that determines how long that power lasts. It's the golden thread that holds everything together. Steel beneath the steel. So what is it? What is this elusive, priceless, civilization-shaping force that Carnegie said was worth more than all his millions? The skill he placed above strategy, above intelligence, above even raw determination? Are you ready? Because this is the moment. Everything turns. The skill is this, the ability to handle people. That's it. Not command them, not outtalk them, not manipulate them, not handle them. With grace, with tact, with emotional intelligence forged in the fires of experience. The ability to work with human beings as they are, not as we wish them to be. To navigate ego, pride, fear, ambition, and longing, and come out not just with a result, but with allegiance. Andrew Carnegie believed, with unwavering conviction, that the greatest asset in life is not money or machinery or mineral. It's your capacity to understand, relate to, and elevate other human beings. He said, the man who can handle people successfully can do anything he wants with the world. It sounds simple, But don't confuse simple with easy, because people are not levers. They are not spreadsheets. They are not obedient gears in your machine. They are contradictions. They are wounds wrapped in hope. They are chaos stitched to potential. And the person who can walk calmly into that storm and bring order, that is the person who earns trust. That is the person who becomes unstoppable. Steel bends under heat, but human hearts bend under understanding. To handle people means to lead without arrogance. To persuade without pressure. To correct without humiliation. To challenge without crushing. It is a discipline just as demanding as metallurgy, just as nuanced as law, just as vital as breath. And yet, most men never learn it. Why? Because we're taught to chase the visible, the degrees, the networks, the awards, the algorithms. But influence, true influence, is invisible. It lives in the pauses between your words. It lives in the way someone feels when they're around you. It's the difference between a boss and a leader, a merchant and a visionary, a rich man and a builder of men. Carnegie had seen wealthy men who couldn't keep a team loyal for 6 months, who inspired fear but never devotion, who commanded respect but never earned it. He watched their empires rise and rot, because a machine, no matter how efficient, is still just a machine. But a team, a movement, a brotherhood, that's something different. And that's what the ability to handle people builds. Not compliance, but culture. Not obedience, but ownership. It transforms a group of individuals into a force. But to lead that force, you must first master yourself, because this skill begins not with learning about others, but by dismantling the myths about yourself. You are not always right. You are not always the hero. You do not always know best, and that's okay. Because greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about being present enough to grow. To handle people is to listen more than you speak. To see not just the mask, but the pain behind the mask. To know when to push and when to pause. It is emotional strategy, empathy with teeth. It is understanding that everyone wants to feel important. And if you can make someone feel seen, they will follow you through hell itself. This is not manipulation. This is human architecture. And Andrew Carnegie, he built cathedrals out of men. He took ordinary, uncertain workers and made them feel like builders of a better world. He let them own the vision. He gave them the dignity of belief. And in return, they gave him loyalty that no money could buy. He once said, "No man will make a great leader who wants to do it all himself, or to get all the credit for doing it." Why? Because the foundation of influence is humility. If you want to lead, if you want to move nations, you must first move your ego aside. It's not about making people follow you. It's about making them want to go with you. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And if you made them feel heard, if you made them feel significant, if you made them feel like they mattered, they will move mountains for your vision. This is the real Carnegie Code, the hidden blueprint behind every empire that endures. Not stone, not steel, not even strategy, but people. Handled with care, handled with strength, handled with mastery. It's what makes a general worthy of his army. It's what makes a founder worthy of his team. It's what makes a human being unforgettable. And the best part? This skill, this rare and priceless force, is trainable. It's not a gift. It's not a genetic quirk. It's a decision. A decision to wake up every day and sharpen your awareness. To study people. Not just books. To ask more questions than you answer. To learn the art of listening deeply, truly, relentlessly. To read the emotions that words don't say. To know when to pause, when to push, and when to step back. To practice humility like it's a ritual. To treat every person as if they were holding the key to your next level, because they are. You see, Influence isn't something you use. It's something you become. And once you become that person, the person who can handle people with strength and subtlety, you will never be without options again. You'll walk into boardrooms and silence the noise. You'll diffuse conflict. Without raising your voice, you'll gain loyalty where others spark rebellion. You'll leave rooms not with applause, but with alignment. You'll create not just deals but disciples, not just networks but nations of believers. Because when you master this skill, people stop seeing you as a boss. They see you as a builder of them. And that is power. No currency can buy. But understand this. Power earned through people is fragile. It breathes. It bleeds. It remembers. It's not built once and left alone. It must be nurtured, reforged daily in the fires of humility, patience, and presence. That's why most men abandon it, because it demands more than charisma. It demands character. To handle people is to carry weight most never see, the weight of unspoken pain, the weight of deferred dreams, the weight of watching someone crumble in silence and reaching out anyway. You become the steward of other people's fire. You become the mirror they trust to see themselves clearly. And sometimes you must show them not who they are, but who they could be if they dared. This is not soft. This is not passive. This is leadership in its final form. And it's what made Andrew Carnegie more than a capitalist, more than a steel magnate, more than a name etched in gold. It made him a force of human elevation. Because while other men counted profits, he counted potential. While other men built towers, he built people. He once said, the average person puts only 25% of his energy and ability into his work. The world takes its hat off to those who put in more than 50% and stands on its head for those few and far between who devote 100%. But no one gives 100% to someone they don't trust. And trust is the currency of human handling. You don't demand it. You don't declare it. You earn it day by day, moment by moment, conversation by conversation. You earn it when you keep your word, when you own your mistakes, when you see the janitor and the CEO with the same level of presence. You earn it when you put people before power. And the beautiful paradox? When you do that, the power comes anyway. Not the brittle power of fear, but the unshakable power of respect. Because in the end, people don't follow brilliance. They follow belief. And belief is born from connection. You want to be a king? Learn how to kneel before those you lead. You want to build an empire? Start by mastering the empires inside others. Because the world has no shortage of strategists, no shortage of loud voices, no shortage of intellect, but it is starving for leaders who can handle people. The ones who know when to step in, when to stand back, when to speak, and when to simply look someone in the eye and say, I see you. Let's rise together. That moment, that is where the invisible empires are built. Not on balance sheets. Not in conference rooms, but in hearts. That's what Carnegie understood. And it's why he became not just rich, but revered. He could have built factories. He chose to build men. And now, it's your turn. To become the kind of person who moves others, not through control, but through connection. To sharpen the blade of your emotional intelligence until it cuts through resistance. Like steel through silence. To learn how to speak, so people listen. To listen, so people open up. To look not at what someone shows you, but at what they need. This is the final frontier of mastery. Because when you master people, you master outcomes, you master influence, you master legacy. So ask yourself now, not someday. Now, do you know how to handle people? Can you sit with someone's anger and not flinch? Can you lift someone from despair without a single word? Can you inspire action, not through threats, but through shared vision? If not good, because that means you still have everything to gain. This skill, this sacred ability, it will not fall into your lap. It must be built. Like a bridge, like a bond, like a life. And if you choose to build it, brick by brick, moment by moment, you will become dangerous in the best possible way. You'll become the kind of person the world cannot ignore. Because while others argue, you'll align. While others dictate, you'll inspire. While others collapse under ego, you'll rise through empathy. That's the real iron law Carnegie lived by. And it is yours now, if you have the courage to wield it. So go. Start with the next person. You see. Look them in the eye. Listen with your whole soul. Speak with truth and clarity. Treat them not as a means, but as a mission. And watch what happens. When one human being chooses to handle another, not with manipulation, but with mastery, that is the beginning of real power. That is the path to a real legacy. And that is the one skill Andrew Carnegie said was worth more than all his fortune. Now go earn it. And as you step into the world with this knowledge etched into your bones, remember, the skill doesn't make you better than others. It makes you responsible for them. This is not the path of the brute or the tyrant. This is the path of the architect, the builder of invisible bridges, the sculptor of morale, the leader whose presence doesn't demand attention because it commands respect without saying a word. This world will tempt you with shortcuts, with algorithms, with tactics, with artificial charm. It will whisper, hack the system, fake it till you make it, dominate, close, win. But the true winners, they don't close people. They open them. They don't fake it. They forge it. They don't dominate. They elevate. And if you choose this path, the path of human mastery, you will lose sometimes. You will be misunderstood. You will be tempted to go back to control, to coercion, to cold detachment. But hold the line, because the ones who master this skill become magnets. For trust, for loyalty, for opportunity. Not because they're the loudest in the room, but because they are the anchor. In every storm. Do you want to be the kind of person people fear when things go wrong? Or the kind of person they run to when everything's falling apart? If it's the latter, then learn to hold the room with your calm, to hold the moment with your presence. To hold the future with your words. This is not charisma. This is not charm. This is character that breathes influence. And Andrew Carnegie, he didn't just know this. He lived it. He saw steel as a metaphor. Strong, flexible, capable of great creation or great destruction. And people? People are the same. They can be forged in the right hands or fractured in the wrong ones. That's why he invested not just in factories, but in fellowship. Not just in profits, but in people. Because he knew that you can buy a man's time. You can buy his labor, but you cannot buy his heart. And once you have someone's heart, once you have earned their belief, there is nothing you cannot build together. So build that now. One conversation at a time, one connection at a time. Let your words be the scaffolding of trust. Let your presence be the blueprint others can lean on. Let your leadership never be confused with dominance, but with deep, deliberate understanding. The ability to handle people is the bedrock of every lasting legacy, not because it makes you rich, but because it makes you real. Because in a world of tactics, you become timeless. In a world of transactions, you become transformational. That's the secret Carnegie died knowing. That while others fought for money, he mastered the minds and hearts of men. He built his fortune with steel, but he built his immortality with people. And now it's your move, because someone is waiting for your words to unlock them. Someone is stuck in doubt, and your presence will be the permission they've never been given. Someone is lost, and your understanding will be their compass. You do not need a title to lead. You do not need a fortune to influence. You need one thing: the courage to understand before you judge, the strength to empathize before you command, the discipline to handle people not for gain, but for growth. This is the rarest skill in the world. Dot, it is hard. It is messy. It is profound, Dot, and it is yours to develop, Dot. You are not just building a career. You are building a cathedral of human potential. So raise your standards. Sharpen your awareness. Dot, speak life. Dot, see people. Dot, lead with vision. But love with intention, Dot. And when your time comes, when the world looks at what you've built, let them say, not just, he was successful, but he changed lives. Because the steel of your legacy will not be measured in monuments. It will be measured in people who became more because of you. And that is wealth that never rusts.